So guys, to start off this video, we are going to be using our tape, our measuring tape. You're going to need a ruler, ruler, then your pattern drafter or a curve, and then marker. So the first thing we are going to be doing is to measure out 1 inch from the top of this place. This is going to be your shoulder line. From this line, I'll go ahead and take the other measurements I need. So from here, I'm going to measure my bust point, my bust length, which is 11 inches. Then my under bust is 15 inches. My waist is 17, and then the full length, the top, let me say it's going to stop at 23 inches. I will also mark it here so that it's going to be a straight line. I'll repeat the same thing here. I'll go ahead and connect it together. Then from this bust line, I'll come up by 2 inches to determine my chest line. After that, you're going to get your neck depth. I'll go in by 3 inches and then come down by 3 inches, and I'll use my curved ruler and connect it. Then from here, I'll measure out my shoulder. My shoulder is 15 divided by 2, 7.5. Then I'll mark 7.5 here. I'll go ahead and mark 7.5 also here. So I'm going to have a straight line. So at this point, I'll come down at the shoulder here. I'll come down by 1 inch. Then I'll connect my neck to this place. This is going to give you the shoulder slant. From here, you now connect this to this place to get your armhole length. So to get my armhole curve, I'll come here and divide it by 2. I am going to mark it at this point. Then I'll go in by 0.50. I'll go in by 0.50 this way. So I'm going to also at this chest line divide my round bust, which is 44 divided by 4, 11. I am going to mark it here. So now I'm going to use my curved ruler and connect this to this to this. Let's label this. This is the chest line, the bust line, the under bust line, the waist line, and then the full length. So to determine my dart point, I'm going to use nipple to nipple divided by 4. Mine is 8. So I didn't record this part. I didn't know that my nipple to nipple is 8 divided by 2 is 4. So I went ahead and marked the 4 from the bust point to the full length. You have to mark it from the bust point. Do not start from the chest. This is for the front pattern. So we're going to mark the 4 and then connect it with a straight ruler like you have seen here. At the waistline is where you take in your dart, and mine I'll be using 1 inch in and out. Now if you have a bust of, let me say, from 32 to like 40, you have a smaller bust, you can use 0.50 or even 0.75. So at this full length, I'll come up by 2 inches. You can decide to go up by 3 inches, but I'm going up by 2. That is where I want my dart to stop. So from here, I'll connect this dart together this way. The 1 inch at this side, I'll also connect it to join these two, this part. Then at the bust point, I'll connect this to this place. And this is how you form your darts. So now you input your body measurement. At the chest line, you're going to do your round bust divided by 4, which is what you have already used here. to get around armhole, which is 11. So we're going to mark it also at our bust point, bust line 11. Then at the waistline, my waist is 30 divided by 4 is 7.5. So I am going to start from here, measure out what is here, which is 3 inches. Then from the 3, not even 3 inches, is like 3.25. Then from 3.25 I'll go so that I can get my waist measurement. You know, you have to consider the dart that we took out. So this is 7.5. Then at the full length, we didn't remove anything, so we're going to use your round hip. Mine is 50, so I'm going to use 12.5 here. And then I'm going to connect this line together. So because I'm very curvy, you can see that mine is actually curvy. If you're not that curvy, you're going to have a bit of curve. Now we are going to get the bust dart. So when you get like your, basically like your waist length at the front and then your waist length at the back, the difference between it, you are now going to come at the bust point here. Mine is 2 inches. So you come down and mark it. Then from here, you connect it to the bust point. This is going to be the dart. So this is all for the front pattern. I'll go ahead and cut it out now, and then we'll head over to draft our back pattern. So for the back pattern, you go ahead and mark a straight line again, 1 inch like we did at the front. This is going to be our shoulder line, so I'll go ahead and write it here. Then from here, you are going to measure out your bust point. My own is 11, like we did in front, like we had in front. And at this point, at the waistline, there is a difference between the front and the back. When you measure your back waistline, mine is 15. Remember that my front waistline was 17, but at the back is 15. So I'm going to mark 15 here. Then I'll do the same again. Go ahead and label them. This is the bust line and then waist length. So because our waistline in front and back is not the same, you're going to bring your front pattern, and then you measure out from the waist of the front to the full length and know what is there. What is there is 6 inches. So I'll go ahead and mark 6 inches. I'll go ahead and mark 6 inches from here, which is going to be the new full length or the hemline for the back. Then I'll roll it. So I'll go ahead and mark it here, which is the hip. So if you do it this way, by the time that you are done, like when you start joining your clothes, you realize that everything is going to be equal, like the front side and the back side is going to be equal and is going to align. So at this point, we're going to create our neckline. I'll go in by 3 inches. Remember that in the front pattern, we went in by 3 inches and down by 3 inches also. But here we're just going in by 1 inch, by 3 inch. Then we'll come down by 1 inch. Then I'll use my curved ruler and then connect these together to form our neck hole. Then we are going to mark our shoulder. Our shoulder is 15 divided by 2, 7.5. I'll mark the 7.5 here. Then remember that I'm going to come down by 1 inch for our shoulder slope. So from this bust line, I'm going to come up by 2 inches so that this is going to be my chest line, just like how we did in front. And then I'll connect this together. It is from here that we're now going to get our armhole. Then you go in by 7.5 here, and then you now mark this together, and then from here you connect this to this one to form your shoulder slope. Just like we did in front, you are going to, from here to where it ends, you're going to divide it by 2 and get the, you divide it by 2 here and get the equal half. then you're going to come in by 050, just like we did in front. Then here you're going to, at the chest line, you're going to get a round bust divided by 4, 11. So you're going to be working with these points, and this point. So now we are going to take our dart at the back. Remember that at the front, our dart started from the bust point, but for the back side, our dart is going to start from the chest line. So you are going to mark your nipple to nipple divided by 2. Mine is 4, so I'm going to mark 4 here, mark 4 here, then to the full length, and then I'll connect everything together. Remember that your dart is always going to be on the waist, so I'm going to go in and out by 1 inch like I did in front. Then instead of me to start from the bust point to connect it, I'll start from the chest line and connect it, and at the full length here I'll come up by 2 inches like we did in front. This is where the dart is going to stop, so I'll connect this. We are going to go ahead and add the body measurement to the back pattern. For the waist, what I'm having here is 3 inches. From the 3 inches, I'm going to get my 7.5 as my waist here. Then my full length at the hem line, at the hip line, I'm going to use the same, my hip measurement here. So I'm going to connect this together. So I'll go ahead and cut out this pattern now. So this is the back pattern and this is the front pattern. You can see that at the back pattern I didn't add any zip allowance here. The reason is because I'm using this for a corset. So if you want to add zipper allowance and you want to sew like a cloth that will have zip, you can go ahead and add your zipper allowance. So when you put this together, you are going to notice that this one, the front pattern, watch it and see that the front pattern is longer than the back pattern. See, the front is longer. The reason is because of this dart. By the time we open up this breast dart and close it together this way, you will now realize that this is going to like coincide, like become equal. That you see, you get the gist. So if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to my channel, thumbs up this video, and I'm going to see you guys in my next one. And it's going to be a corset, a Victorian corset. You really want to see that.